Hey guys, and welcome. It's Al from Altruistic channel, and today I just wanted to kind of mention that I actually got a little sleep, which was nice. I don't often get that since I turned 40. But what I wanted to kind of focus on was a question I had gotten in my private life, which was relating to the um, my focus of career, my alignment with my life purpose and my career, and what the focus was surrounding the whole perception thing. So here's the thing about perception, in my opinion. When it comes to perception, it's so subjective that harnessing the power that lies within that is one of the greatest lessons I learned in 20 years of doing business. Just because I was right in my conviction on a topic did not mean that another person was not right. And the more you learn and the more you actually become a master of your own sphere of knowledge, you start to realize that there are varying facets to all truth. But then the reality of what perception is, which is a subjective thing, becomes that much more important to you when you realize an innate ability to strategize. And as I was looking around the market, I uh, I found that a lot of companies and mid-sized companies and above were spending quite a bit of money on strategy and consumer reporting and finding all these things out at a very costly for a very costly amount of money. I'm not sure, but again, just waking up. Uh, but why? I just couldn't get over the question why. There are a couple things working here. One, I am an INTJ personality, so I'm assuming that part of that um, mastermind belief of us is that I break things down, and so I've always kind of just naturally been a leader that just innately was able to strategize. But when I started to realize what they were actually spending money on, I realized that a lot of what they had or what they were looking for was actually something they could leverage themselves within. It's just about finding the way to bridge the gap. And so that's where the whole perception and communication strategist came in. Was because you can actually save quite a bit of money for your company if you just grab the executives that you believe in the most who are open. Because when you find that, I say open because you find people that are so limited or so focused and finite of the perception into a topic that they can't see any other option. And those people are what limits you from expanding because they're not expansive, they're narrow minded, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that there's something bad about the person. It just means that they are unable to see something in front of them because they're so focused on something else. And so I realized that one of the best things you can do for anyone is to help train your mind to take a step back. So focus as much as you want on a topic, and then when it runs its course, take a step back away from it and remove your intention and remove what the motivation was for the initial analysis of that topic. And you'll start to find that when you do that and you remove intent, you start to really see the different facets of what can actually be accomplished or what lays therein because you'll start to notice that your vested interest is no longer a point of importance. And so as you develop these skill sets, you become increasingly more aware of how you and your opposing viewpoint or you and the opposing idea can actually both exist in the same space. And so the longer you sit in that area, in that mental process, the more advanced you become in the ability to kind of see things from all sides. And so what used to be real or true for you begins to kind of fall by the wayside because your brain starts to understand an abstract thinking to some degree. So now you have the same people who were blocked and could not get anywhere with an idea. It's one of the things behind mental mapping, right? So you have people who you found narrow-minded or you found that could not expand upon a specific topic point because they had gone as far as they could go, now able to look at it from a brand new vantage point and one that they self-own and which then motivates them to find out more. And as you propel forward, your perception on life and reality begins to open. And all of the things that you found true for your business goals or your mission statement or accomplishing the goals as an entity as a company begins to align itself with altruistic things because as I started focusing people on the skill sets that they would need to kind of strategize and kind of become one with who they are and understand and harness that power that they have from experience, it started to align itself with the fact that it was going to help people then also in humanitarian efforts. It began to help in a humanitarian way, in the sense that if you can sit in space of someone else for any duration of time and strategize what it is that be propelling them to do A, B, or C, then you can also sit in space of someone who has an opposing view and faith, or a religion, or a political party. And so as you begin to do these things, you grow and you expand your sphere of purpose and understanding for the general world. And there is where you find most of your answers for consumerism these days. As the market changes, we start to see these fluctuations back and forth, and people sit there and they judge it, and then they want to harness how we're going to find out why they're doing it and how we're going to get in more. Stop spending so much money outwardly. Start looking internally. It's part of the process of becoming a life coach in general. Is you have to understand that at some point you're just good enough to do this. You are good enough with your 20 years of experience. You're gonna have to take this leap of faith, and you're just gonna have to teach other people what you know. Whether they believe in it or not is none of my fucking business. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't have to hire me or my consultant. You can hire other people, or you don't have to have me come and speak to your kids about the possibilities being endless in this world, because you may not believe that. That's your vantage point. But at some point in evolution, you start to realize that the only way to kind of grow our society is to acknowledge that our society has changed. And the goals that we have are no longer personal. It's not just about us. That selfish phase was great. We learned a lot. Yet we didn't do anything towards actually understanding the internal process that is within us. So it's kind of like a superfluous, like we just went to the very tip of the iceberg and went, it's good enough. Well, no, it's not. And so instead of spending all this money outwardly, why don't we start focusing more of the money internally? You have a huge human resources that you could be using in a completely different facet. Instead of muddying the waters with all this bullshit about like political correctness, why not take the importance of being politically correct in extreme circumstances and start focusing it down so that we can have a better conversation stream and opening those. I mean, there's so much we're doing that with just a slight twist as to what the intent is and removing the intent, life's purpose kind of shows itself. And so I know it's a little bit babbling brook here, if you will. Babbling brook, that's from Popular, I believe, from back in the 90s. I'm aging myself, but nonetheless. Uh, Perception is so subjective. It is based on your personal experience and how your receptors interpret the stimuli it encounters on a regular basis. And it discerns from that information and bases it against its past experience, whether that's right or wrong, indifference. Um, and it conveys an actual belief system that emerges that you call reality. So when you look into something, if you can't see a solution, then you probably need my services because there's always a solution to everything. You may not like it, but we can train you to understand that within you not liking it, we can find somewhere where you're okay with it, because you start to realize that it's sometimes things are bigger than you, or that you're not meant to deal with that specific facet of society. And there are all these people that are ascending, and all these people who are awakening, if you will, whatever faith they're in, to the realization that humanity has changed course. It's not just singular anymore. It's a collective manner of looking at life. We want to do better for all of us, not just me, not just you, not just your family. Because at the end of the day, your family can't exist, and I can't exist if there's no one else in the world to kind of bounce off of. So it's not just about our vision; it's about the collective vision. So that's when I say collective. That's what I'm saying. If I'm applying it to a corporate setting, and I'm applying it to the collective business mind, like business consciousness. If I'm referring to individual people, it's typically a belief system in spirituality called the collective conscience. And so these things are within the correct perspective, everyone on the planet, because everyone believes in the betterment of something, even if it's just yourself. But at the end of the day, we're moving towards a collective unit. And so that's all I wanted to say. And so I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm probably not going to watch this because I probably would edit the hell out of it. But I'm just waking up, so I just thought that was a really good thing to start the day with, or my second half of the day. Sometimes it's really good to have a nap when you are busy all the time. And between writing the book and still bartending and all the stuff that I'm doing, I just needed a nap. So, but anyway, that's me, Al at Altruistic channel. And I hope you guys are having a blessed day. What else was today? Have you made a mistake today? I'm like a babbling moron, but I'm cute. I hope I win.